Hi, everyone. Welcome to our November 2022 Ask the Expert interview series. Today, I'm excited to have Lion Pat Ryan with us. He is here to talk about the Bluegrass Lions Diabetes Project that he has been involved with for a few years now. We like to talk to Lion Pat in November because November is Diabetic Eye Disease Awareness Month, and a lot of diabetes issues and events happen in November. So we just like to catch up with him and follow up on how the Diabetes Project is going here in Kentucky. So thank you, Lion Pat, for being with us today.
Thank you, Jennifer, for having me. Always glad to participate in the Ask the Expert. It makes me feel so good.
Yeah. Well, you are our Kentucky expert on this Bluegrass Lions Diabetes Project. So first of all, can you just tell us a little bit more about why you started this program and how you got involved with it?
Sure. My family history involves a lot of diabetes on my mother's side. My grandmother, first one I know anyway, that started the thing, or first one we knew had it. Then two of my aunts and my uncle all suffered under the ramifications of having diabetes to different degrees, but basically they all died of complications, at least, that diabetes contributed to. In the year 2000, I was diagnosed type 2 diabetes, kept it under control pretty well. And then it didn't stay under control very well. I had changed jobs and different things and changed lifestyle, which meant that I got fat and lazy. And after an appointment with regular doctor's checkup, rather than getting my lab results emailed to me or sent to me the next day or so, I got a phone call the next morning. It said, "Dr. Johnson wants to see you in his office. Can you come in now?" And so that's not a good thing. So I went in and see him. He said, "Pat, I think you have chronic kidney disease." So he sent me to the nephrologist, kidney doctor, and he did his test. And he said, "Yep, you got chronic kidney disease. You have stage 3. There's only 5 stages. At stage 4, you go on dialysis. Stage 5, you get a transplant or you die." I didn't want that. So that's when I changed my lifestyle and basically I lost well over 100 pounds and got much more active. I say my doggies saved my life because I started walking them every morning more and more and more. We get up at least a mile, usually 2 miles. And I've been able to maintain a semblance of a better lifestyle living. I tell people I got down from when I hit 280, I stopped weighing. So I know I got above that. But I got down at one time to like 149. And the doctor says, "You don't need to lose any more weight." And so I got to like around 160, which is my high school football playing weight. And I figured that'd be pretty good. But during the pandemic, I put on my pandemic pounds. I got I'm about 180 something now. So it's still much better than over 280. So that's what got me interested in diabetes personally. I got in once the Lions Clubs International took on diabetes as one of their 5 major thrusts in 2017. I had attended my first LCI International Convention in Chicago, which is the 100th anniversary. Mm-hmm. That's when they announced diabetes. So I started bugging everybody I could see up there. What can I do? Get me involved. I want to do something. And they weren't quite ready yet. Then I went to a Las Vegas convention, and they still weren't quite ready yet. But a couple of months after that, they mailed me the application for a diabetes grant. And one of the first things I can advise people that want to do something is get help. People around you are also wanting to help with diabetes. There's somebody in every community is already involved with diabetes. we have our Fayette County Diabetes Coalition that I joined up with, and got great help in fulfilling the crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's of the grant, getting it read and reread and spruced up real nice. So we sent that in. We got the grant awarded in 2019. So we had to raise around $30,000 locally, and that involved all of the District 43Y Lions clubs. And once we raised our money, the LCI, the Lions Club International Foundation, matched that on a 3-to-1 basis. So we wound up getting like total of around 90,000 something, and we're down to probably just a little under 20,000 now. But the thing is, we bought all the major hardware stuff that we don't have to buy again. Right now, it's just resupplying all the A1C kits and so on. So we got a ways to go still. Other than my personal part, I'm going to share the screen here now. This is the latest figures after the 10-year population analysis and stuff. It used to be 1 in 8 on previous infographics like this. Now it's 1 out of 7 that are diagnosed, but there's so many more that are undiagnosed. In Kentucky, we have steadily, these come out every 2 years, and this one based on the 2018 data, but we have steadily risen. The first one I remember seeing like this was like 8 and 9%, then 10, 12%. Now it's right at 14%, and we're significantly above the nationwide median. But what gets me is right here. All these southeastern counties, areas, have much greater, 20, 21, 23%. And that's where we need to be testing people and help getting them the help they need. Again, here's by regions. Prediabetes is another considerable risk. It used to be 1 out of 10 had pre-diagnosed or diagnosed prediabetes. Now it's 1 out of 9. 1.1 million are diagnosed. That's 1 out of 3 Kentuckians. But seven out of 10 of these don't know they have it. Mm-hmm. So there's like 700,000 pre-diabetes, no idea.
Yeah. Because, which shows that you all out there testing is a good thing. You know?
We're trying to find those folks that have it, have a risk of it, and don't know it. It's costly, not only to the patient, but to the economy, because if somebody's diabetes, if their feet are numb, sore, amputated, hard to work. Mm-hmm. If they can't see, hard to get a job. They can't contribute. Same thing, all these kidney disease. Diabetes is the leading cause of blindness, diabetic retinopathy, the leading cause of amputation, especially the toes, feet, legs, causes strokes, heart disease, kidney disease, and many other complications. So there's a tremendous need to find folks before they really get hit by all these bad side effects or effects of diabetes. There are paper pencil tests that you can get online with the American Diabetes Association or the Center for Disease Control. Other places, just search for diabetes, to do an at-risk assessment. And there's usually 7 questions, but overweight, obesity really contributes to diabetes. But just because you're obese does not mean you are going to get diabetes. We've had some very large people test out just fine, and we've had some very thin people test out with high A1C scores for diabetes. Diabetes is a chronic disease, so the older we get, the more our A1C scores, the more our sugar levels tend to rise. The physical activity, again, that's what got me into trouble, and that's what got me out of trouble. So that's a definite. And you don't have to be out running. You don't have to hit the gym big time or anything. I didn't mind mainly walking. Other people would like to dance. There's a lot of videos on YouTube and various places that show chair aerobics, where you sit down and move. If you can't move around your feet so much, at least move your upper torso. Mm-hmm. We do the A1C tests, how we screen for diabetes, and we look for those that have pre-diabetes. Because if you're in that range, that means your scores are elevated. They're not high enough to be diagnosed, but you're moving in that direction. And again, it's a chronic disease. Unless you change your lifestyle, that will probably still continue to go up. But you can't bring it down. It's manageable. And like for me, a family history, I had a big tell that I was going to get in trouble with diabetes if I didn't change my ways. So what are you going to do if you find out you have pre-diabetes? We do screenings. We don't diagnose at our events, mm-hmm. But if we find high scores, say, get to your doctor. Let them really check this out, and they have to make the diagnosis. But then we strongly encourage them to get involved in the National Diabetes Prevention Program, the DPP program. Make healthy food choices. We use the MyPlate method, and myplate.gov is a good place to go for information there. And again, getting back to be more active. Lose weight if you need to. If you have diabetes, this side is for like pre-diabetes, and this side over here is for diabetes. There are other classes, other programs called the DSMES, Diabetes Self-Management Education and Support Program, where you can learn how to better manage your symptoms, better manage your lifestyle, to decrease the risks of all the severity that diabetes can bring you. Healthy food choices, being active again. And if you're diagnosed, the doctor gives you medications, take those medications. And make sure you monitor your blood sugar. Quit smoking, which you should do anyway. And then there's a website here that here in Kentucky, you can click on this and find out where these programs are at. The DPP programs and the DSMES classes are at. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing that one. And let's see what else you want me to talk about.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. Next question we had was just how has the project developed since it started? I know you received grant funding, I believe, in 2019. 2020, right. Everything kind of was sent to a halt because of COVID. So I know we've had some rebuilding processes between there and now because, everyone is still just a little timid to get out, but things are opening. So just kind of tell us how things have progressed in the last couple of years.
We've had, I'm trying to count them up right here, I would say 30 events since January 28th of 2022. 8 of those were in November. We were busy in November.
Yeah.
Until Thanksgiving hit.
Yeah.
So that's all 8 of those in the first couple of weeks. Yeah. We don't have anything scheduled until January. I guess we're taking December off. Nobody's called me or won anything there.
Yeah,
But
December's hard with the holidays, but
but we've got 3 things set up already for January. Then we've got a couple in March and one in May. I'm sure more and more start to fill in.
yeah. Well, very good. I'm glad
And
events are
give you-
happening again, and people are getting started back to health fairs and that type of thing to put these on. So
Can
I
you
guess
share
just,
our results with you?
yeah, go ahead and share their results screen and just kind of tell us about what the project is doing in the communities that you're working with.
Okay. So all in all, we've had 75 events. As of our last one was November 16th over in Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 331 lines involved. Now, I'm in there most every time, so there's a lot of repeats, but there's a lot of individual lines too.
Mm-hmm.
301 other volunteers. These can be nurses, student nurses, UK students, University of Louisville students, other just involved people in the area that are concerned about diabetes and so on. So we've involved like 600 some odd people. I was trying to count them up in my head, and the ballpark figure is I got to go back and make a much more definite determination on this. But I think we've involved at least 25 different Lions Club here in Kentucky. And so far we've done right at 1,700 A1C screenings. Thankfully, 63% of those were in the normal range, 20% in the pre-diabetes range, 17% in the diabetes range, which is over 6.5. So that is like 37% there that are elevated scores. The national average, I think, was 1 out of 3. So we're a little bit above that here that we've tested, that we've screened. Okay. And on the at-risk assessment, you say if you score 5 or higher, you need to talk to your doctor and let them know that you have some type of risk, probably on the American Diabetes Association risk assessment. And so we've got 60% of the folks that we've screened have some risk. And usually it's because of age. A lot of our screenings involve older people. And if you're above 60 and you're male, you got 2 big strikes against you right there. Okay. So those have been our results, again, after 75 events. And we're looking to do more all the time.
Awesome.
We've done as few as 5. We've done as many as 60 at a time.
What is the overall impact that you hope that this project has for Kentucky?
Our primary goal is to help Kentuckians to understand the risk of having diabetes and its serious effects. And then to reach that goal, we try to identify Kentuckians at risk for diabetes, then assist them in obtaining the help they need. We identify them by doing our A1C screenings, and then trying to get them into the proper DPP class or the DS-MES class that they need. Or at bottom, we always tell them, boom, get more active, eat a healthy diet. Yeah. Those 2 things alone have been shown at least as effective, if not more, than medication. Again, it's what helped me. So we're always looking to train and certify the A1C screeners. One thing we didn't talk about, which we should have, we have a diabetic retinopathy camera. In fact, we have 3 of them. But when the pandemic hit, we didn't use them for like 2 years. And people got really, really rusty on using them. And right now, I think I'm the only one that's brave enough to say, yeah, I'll take an image for you. But previously, we had 235, I believe, retinopathy screenings, and 15% had some type of pathology. So it's one thing we'd really, really, really like to get back in gear with, do more of that.
Yeah. So if there are Lions clubs or organizations that are putting on health fairs, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, to schedule you and to get trained and all of that good stuff?
Sure. Give me a phone call, shoot me an email. Can you bring up the chat, or you want me to, or my contact information is on there?
Let's see. I have it up on my screen. Hopefully everyone can see it. If not, I'll also put it down below in the descriptions of the video, so it'll be there if you can't see it on the side.
Okay.
But his Pat Ryan, and I'll just go ahead and say it. Phone number 859-221-1041, and email is pat.bldp@gmail.com.
Bluegrass Lions Diabetes Project, BLDP.
Yeah.
pat.bldp@gmail.com.
And so Pat will be the contact person to set up any type of screenings. And if any Lions, or just, you don't have to be a Lion to be a volunteer. So if anyone is just interested in volunteering with him, he's, as many groups, always looking for volunteers. So reach out to Pat.
Sure thing.
All right. Well, thanks for all that you do through the Lions Club, your own Lions Club in Lexington, and then with this project and throughout the state. Thank you for all of your work to help make a healthier Kentucky. And thanks for being on with me today.
And we did not mention the one thing I said, don't let me forget to mention.
Oh, yes.
There's recently been a big time connection between diabetes and depression, especially because of the pandemic, where people are shut in, couldn't get out, sometimes to get medicine, couldn't get to doctor's appointments, maybe. Diabetes was a contributing factor to a lot of COVID deaths. But now the depression angle is really being focused on, because there's, just in general, there's a big focus on mental health nowadays. So that's one more thing that people with diabetes have to be concerned about.
Yeah. One more reason to get checked and to get on a healthier path, I think. So,
Sure
all right.
thing.
Well, thank you for remembering that. I did forget. I'm sorry. But looks like we've just got a few more minutes on here, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up. But thanks again, Pat, for joining me today and talking about the Bluegrass Lions Diabetes Project. We'll be checking in with you again next year and getting updates. And kind of, what's the goal? Do you have goals for every year? Do we want to be at 150 this time next year, or what's your internal
as far as
goal?
Number of screenings?
Of screenings, yeah.
Yeah. We could easily manage 3 or 4 screenings a month, according to their size and so on. That's almost one a week, but might be a better thing if we get 2 or 3. You mentioned being thankful. I am so extremely thankful for all the volunteers that have helped from time to time. We have a really great core group of people that are there most every time, or try to be anyway. Yeah. And just couldn't do it without people stepping up and saying, yeah, I can go.
Yeah. The Lions in general we have some good volunteers and good people to work with. So in good
We're out there
hands.
trying to serve all the time.
Just need a few more of them, though. So
the nice thing, when the Lions put on an event, there's a 5-minute wait period while the A1C is getting analyzed, and you're going to sit there with a captive audience, and you can tell them everything you want to about what it means to be a Lion, and get them to join up, come to a meeting, see what we do, let them know what your local Lions Club does, what they're all involved with.
Yeah, good marketing tool also.
You betcha.
All right. Well, thanks again, Pat. We will talk to you again soon. And this has been the November 22 Ask the Expert. Thanks for joining us.